Welcome to part 6 of Swap 2.0, in which we put a LS2 into a 55 Chevy. Today we're going to give you a quick setup guide on how to install and wire the Dakota Digital. It basically consists of 4 separate parts. This is the Dakota Digital bus where everything connects up. You can see it's pretty straightforward. Right now I've got, left turn, right turn, high beam here on the right is set up. This is the connection to the BIM 102. BIM 102 is my buddy here. I've used him many times, and it is the interface between the CAN bus on the GM system and the old car. So this is a way in which you take a modern CAN bus system and connect it to an old vehicle. The other part is the programming switch down over here, which allows you to program where the signals come from. They can be natives, like for instance on this one here on the fuel over here, that's a native ohm signal. It comes right back from the original sender, and then you just tell it that. You tell it it's in ohms, and you can actually send a test voltage signal to it to see what comes back. This is the connection right here to the switch. And here is in most of the subsystems. The last video I talked about 3 parts, and this is a 4th part. So the first part is the engine ECU, which we don't have the wiring harness yet. It'll be in here. The second part is the body fuse panel, and that is this piece right here. And fortunately enough for us, Ron Davis was able to send this to me, which goes all the way back to 1992, and explains all the massive wiring down there of what's what. So, for instance, like I used number 26, which is battery power or clock memory keep alive, to put in here. So you've got your typical accessory power, constant power, and then ground. Almost all the system will have the same thing with the Dakota, the Vintage Air. And then the last piece, of course, is the actual unit itself. You can see right here, it just connects up with a standard Ethernet cable, which is the same cable that you used for your router at home, and it connects back into the side over here, right there. And then this is the input-output wire right here. And one thing I wanted to show you here, there's an extra connection, and you can daisy chain these modules together depending on what you want to do. So where is my oh, here's the famous connection right over here. So does anybody recognize this? Well, when I first looked at it, I said, well, what the hell is this? That looks like a parallel port to me. Well, sure enough, that's exactly what it is. It's a Centronics parallel port. So that goes back 50 years ago. They designed it into the 70s, and it's what used to connect your printer. And I spent a lot of time with high-speed printing and wide format and all that kind of stuff. So the parallel port is my buddy. So that connects into the diagnostic port on the harness that we're going to be using on the LS2. And that's the key to the highway right there. So I've used this many times, and I like it for a number of reasons. One, it's bulletproof. It always works. It's relatively easy to program, and it's a tried and true system. So hats off to Dakota Digital because they make a great product. So there's your parallel port from 1970. It was started the first use of it in the CAN bus was 1997, which was when, well, I may be mistaken, but that's the first LS was in 97, and that's about when the diagnostic ports began showing up. I think 96 on cars. Okay, so there's the pieces. I'm gonna scan this wiring schematic and put it on the website. If you haven't been to my website, it's automobileman.com. If you're interested in more of this stuff learning, I have a Gen 5 installation guide that's quite extensive that talks about all the different pieces. One other thing I wanted to show you, there is a quick start guide here from Dakota Digital that allows you to figure this stuff out. It's pretty straightforward. So that's a quick overview of all the pieces and parts that go into connecting the Dakota Digital and sending your signals from GM's CAN bus or GM Link into the old school gauge system. So if you're interested in seeing more, subscribe and give me a like. Thanks a lot. See you next time.